Welcome to Ellamas. We're already on day 14 and we're starting barefaced. This is not going to be a tutorial. I mean, you saw that in the title and in the thumbnail. Today, I want to apply the most expensive makeup that I own on my face and see how much money am I throwing actually on. And before we start into that, I have done this video 1.5 years ago. I just looked it up. It was in June of 2023 where I did this, and first of all, the angle, not flattering, because I was like this up close. But that had a lot to do with the fact that I had a completely different filming setup back then, and my face looked horrible. Like, I do have these spots again, but don't worry, these are like stress spots, and since I'm a horrible skin picker, it takes a while for them to heal, but they are better. They're getting better, let's say like that. But yeah, I was a bit shocked on how my face looked back then. I mean, not that it looks better these days, just these like stress things that I have are quite horrible at the moment. But it gets better, I promise. By the way, in that video back then, in 2023, I have my my list here, I'm prepped. I had makeup on my face worth 1,777 euro. So now, before we start into that, put your guess down below. How much money am I going to throw on my face? Or if you don't want to like gamble on a number, will it be higher or lower? I'm really curious what you think. Spoiler, I'm surprised. I don't want to say too much, so let's just start. Some of the products I did not list, like my eye primer, brow stuff, and mascara that I'm going to use, I will not list in that. I just can talk a little bit about this. I'm currently, for eye primer, using the Hidden Dash the Color Fluids. Yeah, the Color Fluids Ultra Matte in the shade Canvas. I am just currently testing this out, how much this works as eye primer, and so far, let me tell you, it does work very, very well. Do really like the way this acts as a liquid eye primer. I also did not include every single category, like any type of single eyeshadows I did not put in here because let me just look. Then I think either the color, not ColourPop, the Too Faced Disco Crush could have been, or the Charlotte Tilbury Pop Shots, or even the Ritual the Fee Pots. I also did not put any like liquid eyeshadow, something. I just did palettes, and I have a bit to explain about the palettes. So I applied my eye primer. Let's start now with face primer. And the most expensive face primer that I own these days is the Tom Ford Shade and Illuminate primer. By the last time that I did this video, it was also a Tom Ford primer, and it was the Traceless Soft Matte Primer. I'm not surprised by that. I, without looking in my Excel spreadsheet before that, would have guessed it might be either the Chantecaille Rose Tint or the Dolce & Gabbana Bergamot Glow Primer, but none of these are close to the price of the Shade and Illuminate primer, which retails for 99 euro. I do like that primer actually. It is really good. It's not too glowy, so I can still put some glow primer underneath. I also did not include any of my face concealer products because this is just something that I do not change on a regular basis. I am currently using two different ones, and one that I'm just applying is the Made by Mitchell Bold Balm Concealer in the shade BB1. If you remember, the foundation in BB1 looks like yellow-green on me, while the concealer is a surprising match, which is really strange, but I'm happy with that because it is quite a creamy face concealer. And I right now just need that. I mean, you can still tell that this is a bit off. like shade wise, but since I apply this underneath any foundation, it definitely works. The other one would be the REM one that is a tad bit lighter and currently a tad bit too dry for me. But after these two, I will go back to the NARS Soft Matte, like the pot concealer. That's just the best for concealing, like spot concealing. This is, by the way, what happens when I do pick my skin before I do my makeup. Even with concealer and powdering on top, it just comes off, but I can deal with that. I just set my eye primer and the concealer with the under eye setting powder, but I will talk about that later. So now let's move on to eyeshadow. This is very, very difficult because for several reasons. If I just look at my Excel spreadsheet and I just go by the prices, the money that I wrote down to each product, it would be my Cleona collection because that one is way over €1,000. Then, shortly after that, it would be any other collection of single eyeshadows that I own. My Terra Moons, the Glimminatrix ones. I mean, they're not even close to being 1,000, but they're all in the range of like 300, €200. Palette-wise, the most expensive palette that I own, let me grab it, is this one. This is the Lemonhead LA Space Case Pro, and this is the palette that I featured last year in that most expensive video, together with the Adapt Cosmetics Seahorse palette that is €133. By the way, the Lemonhead LA is €220. And also combined it with Mothership 10 from Pat McGrath, which by the time that I bought it was also €133. Oh no, the Seahorse was €150 and Mothership 10 was €133. This year, I decided when I do this, I will not incorporate any of the single eyeshadows. I will not incorporate a full-on glitter palette. I picked out two of the most expensive palettes that I own that are usable as palettes as they are, that are not custom made or anything. And then it came down to palette prices around €160 and €150. For the €150 category, actually would be more palettes than I thought. I also could have done the math and just like calculate price per gram and then completely different palettes would be there. But I just decided to take the most expensive once and done eyeshadow palette. And if I'm not able to do a cohesive look with this for one reason or the other, I will take the second most expensive palette that will fit into that. And so I came to this duo. This is the DANESSA MYRICKS Lightwork 5 IM palette, which is so much better than Lightwork 6. And I will combine it with the MAC 40 Shades of Pride. This palette is €150. And this one I paid $160 for. The Lightwork 5 though has not a single matte eyeshadow in here, so I will combine it only with the mattes of the MAC palette. I could have used the Dragon Ascension as said, it's also $150 here, but I feel like the Dragon Ascension just lives by these beautiful shimmers and it would be a shame to only use the mattes, so I go into this one. I kind of want to do something fiery, but whenever I use the Lightwork 5, I do something fiery. So maybe I do something very unexpected and go with green. Let's do this. I know I'm probably crazy and some of you might think, no, who is she? Who kidnapped Ella and who the fuck are you? But no. We're doing a green eye look today. I'm quite excited, but that is also down to the fact that the mattes here in the MAC 40 Shades of Pride, they are just so good, and a lot of people criticize this formula, but keep in mind, MAC is not your typical indie eyeshadow. This is more a professional brand, and these are not meant to punch you in the face. These are meant to work. These are meant to be the workhorses. These are meant to just perform, and they fucking perform. So let me start with, should we start with something matte neutral brownie like or go full in shebang? We go full in shebang with that green up here. Just have to read here off the sheet that I sticked on top what color this is. This one up here, this is Fresh Fling 2.0. And since this is a darker green, let me grab a good brush for this. Most of my brushes are currently in the to wash bag. So today as I'm filming this, I have a wash your brush session ahead and I don't want to. But I go here into this Fresh Fling 2 and I apply this straight to the crease. And while this is quite a loud shade and definitely visible, I don't know if you can tell, but these even very colorful shades in the MAC 40 Shades of Pride, they do have a certain translucency to them. So there is a lot of my skin color showing through, while for example with some of your favorite indie brands, let's just say Blend Bunny, when you apply a green from Blend Bunny on your eye, it's like 100% covered in that green and not a lot of your skin color shows underneath, which is also fine. And there's definitely a time and place and a passion for that. But honestly, I personally think that this MAC 40 Shades of Pride is the perfect beginner palette when you are diving into colorful eyeshadows. I now go with a bigger brush into that light green. This is called All Night Dance Party. And I use this on the outsides and just diffuse everything and add some colorful glow. I also want to add this. This is like a petrol shade. This is Plumage. Yeah, Plumage 2.0 or Plumage 2.0. Not sure if it's a French pronunciation or English French. But I used this here on the outer V area and also on the outer crease for my depth. But the main part definitely is coming then later from the shimmer that I'm applying. I just want to have a little bit of a darkened base here on the outsides. Who would have thought that in 2024 you are going to see a green eye look from me? Oh my, where are we? So the main focus is going to be here on this shade. This is Abundant, but I also want to incorporate enough evolving and inspiring. So I will be starting with Abundant actually. This is one of these like flaky shades. They I think they had a specific formulation going on, but I completely forgot how they're called here in the center. So let me grab that shade and I apply this here in the center of my lid. Honestly, I haven't touched the Lightwork 5IM in quite some time in 2024, and I'm beyond happy that I'm sitting here now with this. I now go into the shade Enough. That's a bit of a different formulation. This is more a smooth shimmer, and I apply this on the outside. This also has quite a different undertone, but it matches everything. I just love to play with different textures of metals and metallics and the different finishes. And last but not least, I go into Evolving. And that one I use to fill in the rest of the lid. Although all three shades are in the family of green eyeshadows, all three just look so much different from each other because of the different finishes and textures that you get in the Lightwork 5. I'm just so sad that this magic did not happen with Lightwork 6. That was just such a bad palette. I now take the brush that I used Plumage with and I just use this to go through the complete crease to diffuse any harsh lines and shimmers. What's not on the list is my under eye brightener. This is the Rare Beauty under eye brightener because this is just the only product that I use and I just go through these like four of these per year. And I don't feel the need to experiment with any of these. I also don't think that there is any other product in the market like that. And the last time that I did this video, the product that I used for a face glow primer was not included. And if you're new here and you never saw me doing this, I'm sorry for the noise, my base routine contains of primer, underpainting glow primer, and then foundation because I just like the way this looks. Last year I used the Hollywood Flawless filter, the OG one from Charlotte Tilbury, but as said, it was not included in the pricing, but this year I will include it because it's just my collection compared to the video last year of these underpainting glow shits. It's just completely different, and the most expensive one that I know is also my favorite. This is the Isamaya Beauty Skinlacq. I just love this stuff, so I apply a good like pipette full here on the mixing plate, and then I just pick it up and distribute it, like dot it on my face. And the magic is happening now. I actually take the brush that I will use my foundation with and just work this in like a foundation. The brush, by the way, that I'm using, this is the Huda Beauty brush that came together with the Easy Blur foundation. This brush is my favorite out of this collection, honestly. My face is shiny piney, and the fact that some of this then just sticks to the brush makes any foundation after that just even better. So talking about foundation, nothing new actually. Last year and this year, it's the Chanel Sublimage Le Teint. I just used this, I don't know, like a week or two ago, and I just love this so much. I was just focusing a bit on testing some foundations, like the Florasis one that I just showed you in November when I unboxed the embroidery collection. And that's why I haven't used the Chanel one in quite a while. And when I was done with the testing for the speed review of 2025, then that I'm going to include the Florasis in, I was just again... This foundation is just everything. I just love it so much. And honestly, I don't care that this foundation is 150 euro. I think this is worth it for me. For me personally, it's worth it. I also use a under eye corrector, and I only use one at a time, and currently it's the Smashbox X Becca in Fairlight, the under eye brightening stuff. So this is also not included actually on the list, because it's nothing that I have multiple actually of. Now for concealer, unbeaten, honestly. Also Chanel Sublimage Le Correcteur Yeux, because this little jar, I mean, what can I tell you little, it is 10 grams of product. It's quite a big jar. This is 100 euro. I know this is so expensive. Is it worth it? For me, yes. Could it cost less? Probably, but the Sublimage line is very much known for having a lot of skincare ingredients in it. And while usually I personally am so not a fan of this, I quite enjoy it in these products. And I don't want to say that these skincare ingredients in these products are having any good impact on my skin. It just works as it is. And I totally forgot to tell you, in the foundation, I'm wearing the shade 10 Beige, and the concealer I'm wearing in the shade 02. Now for cream contour, cream bronzer. Last year it was the WESTMAN Atelier stick in the shade Biscuit, and it was so close of being that one again. But actually the DIOR contour stick with 55 euro is 3 euro more than the contour stick by WESTMAN Atelier. So that is currently the most expensive one. And I do not like to apply these sticks directly on my face. I take a brush, but which one? Am I going to use this one? Let's use this one. This is the Patrick Ta contour brush. And I just pick up a little bit of this because it is quite a creamy texture. And then I start to apply this. Okay, this brush does not pick up too much, which I like. I have not used this brush in such a long time, to be honest. It was hidden in a drawer where I keep brushes where I'm like, I don't use them a lot. But I also don't think I want to throw them away because maybe at some point I get the urge to use them. And that one got resurrected from that drawer. And honestly, I like that brush. I back then used it only with the Patrick Ta Contour Duo, but I like this more together with other products. It's insane. Cream blush was very, very easy with a retail price of, where is it? 54 euro. The Chanel Joues Contraste Intense in Grenat Profond. I'm still not sure if I'm saying this right. This is the most expensive one that I own. Last year it was Westman Atelier Paddle, but I don't have that anymore. So let's pick some up with a Rare Beauty blush brush. Apply this. It is a beautiful shade. And if you remember in my initial review that I had for this blush, I actually said that I do not like this because it was like gritty, like little sandy gritties were on my face and on the brush, and it was like super duper weird. But I just realized that this was from the embossing, because on top, like the embossing is this weird pattern, and it was like some roll-ups of that pattern stuck to this brush here. And after one use, these were worn off. And then from the second use on, I'm here with this super smooth application and beautiful shade. And I just want to try more of these, but I just am in a very good place with my cream blushes that I don't want to add anything else. But the formulation, definitely something that I will keep my eye out if there are any limited edition shades. Not sure if this is a limited edition shade. I actually was recommended this because I was messaged and said like, hey, this just screams your name, and it does. For cream highlighter, we also do not have anything new with a retail price of, let me check, 55 euro. The Pat McGrath Skin Fetish sticks are still the most expensive highlighters that I own. They are just a couple bucks more than the Westman Atelier sticks that I own, and quite a lot more, I think, than the Dior liquid highlighter. That one is 45 or something, and this is 10 more. So I have three shades. I have Nude, Cyber Orchid, and Cyber Lotus. Cyber Lotus would match with the pink underneath, but since we have a green eye look, I go this time with Nude, so that is just a champagne highlight. And I have to admit that I have not used these in such a long time because I was fully concentrating on the cream highlight that I have in my focus box of the last quarter of 2024 that I used up. Just saying, I used up that cream highlighter. These Skin Fetish things come with two sides. So on one side you have the actual color, and on the other you have a clear balm. You can combine them, you don't have to, I do. So I take the Sephora Pro 90 brush, and then I first pick up color here from the colored side. That one then I dab on. The shade Nude is texture-wise, compared to the other two that I have, actually more on the drier side, which I do like, because if you do not want to add the balm on top, you are left with a very beautiful metallic sheen that is looking, I don't know, it's looking like your skin is supposed to be like that. But I'm extra, so let me incorporate some of the clear balm. I take the same brush and I just pick up here a good amount of that balm, and then I just apply this on top. I don't know if you can see a difference here in these lights. I think it might look quite the same, but in real life, the balm on top is just intensifying a bit. You know, I'm personally a fan of these clear balms in general because I love the effect. It looks a bit more wet, it looks a bit more shiny, sheeny, but the thing just is that the Nude shade actually, on its own, without the balm, is beautiful as it is. With the Cyber Orchid and the Cyber Lotus, I think the balm is actually essential. Now for under eye setting powder, nothing has changed. Again, just like last year, the Westman Atelier powder, or the Vital Pressed powder, is the most expensive one that I own. This little motherfucker with it 5 grams of product is 80 euro. And let me smooth out my concealer like that. And then I just apply this. This, can you tell, has a really, really deep dip in here. I'm pretty sure that I'm going to hit pan on this anytime soon. And I think this is going to be part of the next focus box of 2025. I want to use this up. I do like the powder, not gonna lie to you. I think it's a very, very pretty one. Bubble is a beautiful pinky shade. It is subtle. I had the translucent one too that I used up just in the beginning, I think, of this year. Or was it last year? No, I think it was this year. I do like these, but honestly, they're just too expensive for what they are at the end, and that's coming from me. I also did not include eyeliner, but I think it would be the Victoria Beckham, but I do not have a Victoria Beckham eyeliner that is matching this green eye look, so I am using one from About Face. That's not going to be put on the list. I just want to pull in these looks and just have a good cohesive one. This is the About Face Line Artist in the shade Call Me Crazy. It is a bluish green. The difficulty with these videos with just the most expensive makeup is that sometimes you're ending up with a non-cohesive look, and I could have added the Victoria Beckham liner here at this point if I did not go with this super green eye look. I wanted to surprise you, you know, always there for a good surprise. So let's pull out the MAC palette here again, because we now need to finish this surprising eye look. So I need a brush. That's the wrong. All my good brushes are in the to wash bag, and now I just have to dig in. But let's take this one, and I go into Plumage 2.0 again. And that one I use to blend on the lower lash line. And with a pencil brush, I went into Fresh Feeling 2.0. And I just used this to keep on smoking out that look. That is kind of a Christmassy look. I feel like a Christmas tree. Some red lips maybe, and then it could work, but red is sadly not anywhere near my most expensive ones. For inner corner highlight, I go into Inspiring now, this very, very beautiful silver here, and I tap this on. Let's go to face powder, and the most expensive one that I used last year was a loose powder. It was the Clé de Peau setting powder. It is $125, and this year I don't have that anymore because I used it up with the last focus box. And the most expensive one that I have now is this monster. This is the Guerlain Parure Gold Skin Diamond Micro Powder. This is so good. Oh, this powder, y'all. I mean, you saw hopefully the ranking already. If not, I will not tell you what spot it has in the ranking, but it is quite high. So I just set my face now with a puff first. Quickly did my brows off camera. It's just the e.l.f. Instant Brow Lift, the ABH Brow Powder, and then the Rare Beauty brow setter thing. Yes, you heard right. e.l.f. The best brow pencil, trust me. For powder bronzer, it's the same as last year. This is the HERMÈS Plein Air Tutori. This is €100 bronzer. Just let that sink in. And my bronzer brush is sadly already in the back, so I have to take my contour brush, but I think that'll work too. I actually enjoy this, and I do have from that Tutori line also a highlighter, which is not the most expensive one that I own, this is speaking volumes. But it is just a very, very good, nice looking bronzer. And if you're anywhere near an NC10, Tutori is a good bronzer if you are just sick of these super orange toned bronzers for pale skin that just look completely off. For my most expensive blush, by the last time I did the video, the Gucci Blush Beauté one. This year, it's actually Chanel. And I have two Chanel blushes that I paid the same amount of money for. And I just realized, did I get scammed or something? Because One, okay, first of all, both of them are 65 €. One is from the winter collection of this year. This is the Le Tarot de Chanel in the shade Lavender. A very beautiful lavender shade, but honestly, does not match this look. And the other one is from the fall collection of last year. This is the Beige Rose A Mauve palette. It's this one, not palette blush, it's this one. This is the one I will use, but first of all, look at the size difference. This here is 9 gram of product. It's bigger though, and this is 14 gram while it's smaller. I don't know how I feel about this, but as said, this is the blush that I will use. And for that, I use my beloved Refer number 5. This is a completely fresh new one. So let's just swirl it in that brush here, in that blush, and then just apply this. It is such a beautiful color, but I'm honest with you, I do have a little bit of trouble with this color because it can look dirty really, really fast if you use the wrong undertones of bronzer slash contour underneath. I think this is okay, but it's borderline dirty, so I'm not a fan of this, but I do like the color in general a lot. And for highlighter, it's not Tom Ford. I wish it was. It is not Gucci. It is not Hermès. It's Clé de Peau, and this is from last year's limited edition Christmas line. This is the shade 11 Radiant Aura, and this is 105 €. Last year, also a Clé de Peau Luminizer one, but it's from their regular line that are only 100 €. So I take the Charlotte Tilbury sculpt, or like the contour brush, but I do use this actually for highlight. And then I pick up that highlighter here and, well, apply it on the high points of the cheeks. I mean, it is very pretty. These Clé de Peau luminizers, nearly all of them come with an overspray. And if you do not like that, you can just wipe it off. I don't like oversprays in general, but I wish actually that the glittery overspray would be in that powder. But I'm also a fan of glittery highlights. But as you can see, there is no glitter. This is really just a very nice reflective luminizer. So I did quickly set my face and applied mascara. Since I'm such a mascara slut, I just layer them all. I just take them all in and we do mascara bukkake here. I layered 3 different mascaras and the lash primer to gain these very thick lashes. Just want to give a quick shout out actually to the Chanel Noir Allure. This is what I mean when I say I want to have that luxury experience, because hey, can you see, where do you twist the cap? No. It's this, and then you pull it out, and then you pull it in and just put it back in. This is, as said, this is just the this luxury experience. So now we have to do lips. Lip liner is actually quite hard because MAC and Charlotte Tilbury lip liners are in somewhat of the same price range. So I decided, since I last time I did this video went for a Charlotte Tilbury lip liner, I go this time with a MAC, and these retail for 26 €. Charlotte Tilbury is kind of wild on the prices. Sometimes the lip liners are at 30. I also saw them at 25, and with discount I even paid less than 20 for some of them. It's insane. But since I know what kind of lipstick I will be using, I take the MAC lip liner in Mahogany and line my lips. I also applied a bit of lip balm that I just wiped off. So here we have Mahogany applied, and now please tell me, what's your limit? What's that pain point of a lipstick that you are willing to pay? Mine apparently is 99 €. And here it is that, yes, that motion was on purpose. The dick stick. This is the Isamaya lipstick. The lipstick that just broke the internet of all those, well, people who apparently think that a dick-shaped lipstick is something to just throw down in hell. I don't know what's wrong with you, but actually, I do have to say this is a bit of cheating, because the most expensive part of this is actually the dig, because this is just a case. You can totally use these lipstick on its own. You do not have to put them in the case. You can do whatever you want with this, but the gold case actually was the trigger point for me. Gold is my favorite jewelry color. And I then said, okay, the gold one I got, and the shade that is in that gold one is the shade Chalice. This is a bronze lip color with golden specks of glitter in it. So let me apply this. This just matches the mahogany lip liner just as I imagined. And I honestly never thought that a bronze gold lip is something that I would enjoy to wear. But I fucking do. And last but not least, we have lip gloss. Although I do not want to apply this lip gloss on top, I will put it on with a finger, because the most expensive one that I actually own is this one by Tom Ford. This is the Gloss Luxe in the shade Celestial. It's from the winter collection of this year, and it's basically a clear gloss with iridescent specks of glitter in it. If I apply this now on top, the wand would be completely destroyed. So what I do is I actually smear it here on my finger, and then I just slightly dab it here in the center for a little bit of extra sheen here. But to be honest, that is so not necessary with these lipsticks from Isamaya. That gloss, by the way, is €63. And now one makeup item is left, and that is finishing powder. And this is actually not new news, because last year the Sisley Blur Expert won too. I always use a finishing powder depending on the mood. It's either going to be matte or glowy. Today I used the matte one, and what I do is I pick up the powder and then I just tap it here on my forehead and in between the brows. Here on the chin, then also on the sides here of my nose, and also below my bronzer contour. And that is it. This is my face with the most expensive items of makeup that I own. First of all, my base. I'm not gonna lie to you, my base looks just perfected. It always looks like this when I use the Chanel Sublimage stuff. It has nothing to do so much with the primer. I think any primer just works with this foundation and concealer, but it's just the foundation and the concealer. That now also combined with the gold Parure powder from Guerlain. As I just told you, it's just a match made in heaven. It looks so good, and even these like stress spots that I have, I can easily ignore them because everything else is just looking so smooth and beautiful. I do love everything about this. The combo of the green eyeshadow, that's very unexpected from me, with this bronze brown lip is just a match made in heaven. I enjoy this look so much. And now the reveal, how much money is on my face in terms of how much it would cost to buy these. It is the surprising amount of €1,603. So it is more than €170 less actually. Why is that the case? Well, first of all, only 2 eyeshadow palettes. That is the main thing. Last year, I used 3 different ones: Pat McGrath Mothership 10, Adept Seahorse, and the glitter palette, the €220 glitter palette. If I would have included that here, the price would have gone up. If I would have used my singles, the price would have gone up there. So to me, it makes absolutely sense that it's €170 less compared to the last time that I did this. And honestly, I think I will do this now every year, like at the end of the year, because I just really want to see how much does it change. Will there be other products? But honestly, you saw the ranking already. I don't think that foundation and concealer will change because they're just so good. I can totally imagine that at some point powder, bronzer, or cream bronzer and stuff, all these base, like face products, that could change frequently. But base products and eyeshadows is quite hard to change up. So, did you guess right? How far away were you? Let me know down below. And just for us to just sneak peek a little into your collection, what is your most expensive item of makeup that you own? No judging here, I'm just curious. Let me please know down below. Please make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of the upcoming Ellamas videos. If you're bored until tomorrow and you want to watch more and maybe you missed some of the videos, there is a playlist link down below. And if you want to buy some of these products that I just mentioned, I added some of the links down there. So check them out. Maybe something is there for you. I added some of the affiliate links that I have. Thank you so much for staying here, and I hope I can see you actually tomorrow.